Chapter 12, The Destined Day Shall Come. So, just to come clean on this, I've already played, I'd say 75% of this chapter. What happened is I recorded for 2 hours, and then a lightning strike happened right outside my house and took out all the power. And there goes my recording. So, I get to start over. But, I'm not going to cheat and use forethought or anything. I'm just going to make the same decisions I made last time I played, and just to re-explain my thought process, and I don't know, maybe I'll do a little better in some of the fights than I did the first time around. But I didn't lose any of them either. Yeah, I actually did really well in this chapter. It looks like everyone's almost ready to move out, Ivor says, walking your way. We're about as patched up as we can be out here. Or being to be expected to be out here. If you have any other business to handle before we leave, now's the time. He tosses aside a wheeled stick, and I doubt we'll get out of here without talking to that old man again. I think his name's Joshua. Seems he's the temporary leader since the governor was killed. And so we're left to our own devices here. So yeah, by the way, that's why there's a random outage of episodes for a bit, because Mother Nature destroyed your episodes. It's not really what I expected to have happen. Roek looks nervous as you approach. Why did you attack other horseborn? His eyes dart around and he repeats your words silently, slowly, before preparing his response. Others like me. Wrong. Friend, no. You look at Oddleaf to see if she understands, but she only shakes her head a bit. Fight. Friend, no. Other, wrong. You fought them because they're not your friends. Roek squints while studying Oddleaf's mouth moving. Friend, no. So yeah, it's an enemy clan of horses. That's pretty straightforward. But for some reason, the archers have more trouble figuring that out than you'd expect. I want to know about you and Deirdre, or Deirdre. Deirdre? He whips his tail and stands taller, prouder. Deirdre, mate. Me, hers, mine. When food much, again, strong young for Deirdre and me. Oddleif looks at you with arched eyebrows. A confident man wanting to provide for a family. There's something attractive about that. You smile and shrug before looking back to Roek. If you're going to join us, you'll have to follow orders. He doesn't seem to understand your words, but your tone makes him step back a pace. You are not in trouble. We are a herd. Alette is our leader. Alette points to you and speaks slowly. We follow orders from leader. You follow orders from leader. You cannot be sure how much Roek understands, but his jaw clenches and he stands straighter. He snorts and kicks up dirt with a hoof. He doesn't seem to like that, does he? No, but he'll learn to appreciate it. You choose your words carefully, remembering to talk slowly. I'm glad I had a chance to talk to you. Roek simply stares at you. Everyone feels awkward with the inability to communicate, so you smile at him. Thank you. Thank. He taps a hoof on the ground and a few times before trotting off. My best guess is that there are different herds like our clans, but they don't really get along. Maybe this herd attacking Lundar was just a particular enemy. Maybe. She smiles and leaves you to your confusion. It makes sense. You'd expect the horse politics just to be as complicated as human and Varl politics. After all, we talk about the Varl like they're one great army and one great nation that have this capital and this crazy keep and this bridge and all this stuff, but then, even after their big army fails, there's still Varl everywhere, because they're just around. All these brigands or even just locals. So that's it. You're just gonna leave us to fend for ourselves. You know we're headed to Oberang. I've been very clear about that. But what if those dreads return? Those free-ridden horseborn? I'm not sure about the horseborn, but you can count on more dredge. But why? Why are they after Lundar? They're running from something, same as us. But you're running from them. What are they running from? That's what we all like to know. Joshua's eyes dart around for a moment. Does that mean you'll take us with you? You think about what he's asking. Are you ready to sew your banner into ours? Wait a minute, girl. You may have charmed a few other towns into that banner, but this is Lundar. Fine, stay here. We're leaving. Well, hold on. Have you never heard of haggling? Fine. We'll sew it into yours. Great. Then let's get settled. Then that's settled. Josher, what can you tell us about the old wood? Is that where you're headed? With this many? When he sees you nod, his lips purse and you move from side to side. Well, strange things happen in that place. It's a place where people go missing, or come back happier than ever. Is it dangerous? You charged into a town under attack by Horseborn and Dredge. I'm not sure what you consider dangerous. I guess that means we'll find out. You agree and call everyone to move out. There we go. 51 fighters, 200 clansmen. Wow. Yeah, that's no minor increase. We've practically doubled the size of our group in some capacities. Still though, it's funny to have him saying like, "Excuse me, so our banner into yours? What are you talking about?" As if we're some small group, and it kind of shows how far we've fallen. Is that we're small enough that this little town thinks that they would take priority over us. When not too long ago, we had a really big crew, and that really big crew would have completely outclassed this town in a way where they would have never even questioned whether or not they would get top billing or not. Let's see. I really like Oddleaf's arrow trap, so I probably want to level her up a little bit. Yeah, Alette's stats are maxed out, so I'll probably avoid leveling her up because I'd like to get people's stats higher before I focus on anyone's talents and stuff like that. Hakon, 12, 18. Ooh. He still has some more willpower to increase. I'll go for some of that. That means he can do that three-part exertion twice in a row instead of not. Was it Moger? Let's do a quick confirmation here. Nope, there it was. I was gonna say someone doesn't have their points supplied yet, right? I thought that happened. All right, yeah, we'll give Luden a bit more strength. Just rapid clicking to see if anyone else has points available. There we go. Thought we had loose ends. Can I go for you? Yep, we're good. So we can give Oddleaf 1 extra armor and 1 extra willpower. I'll absolutely go for both of those. Alright, so now her strength and armor is maxed out, and they don't get very high, unfortunately. But her ability to do the rain of arrows is pretty damn strong. And now that she's rank 5, she will now be able to do the 3-part one, where it's 3 arrows in a row, which is pretty powerful in its own right. We just have to try to avoid her taking damage, because that significantly decreases the effectiveness of her power when you don't. Its bonuses based on her strength damage, so if her strength goes down, we're in trouble. Try to avoid that. We are high on morale, good on supplies, no real reason to rest, and this isn't a training location. So we'll head out. I'm kind of disappointed that there's no silly banner sewn into the end of the banner, like with a clear seam or something. I guess all the human banners are red. Tradition or something. Game trail, one of the few gathered hunters said. Looking at the beaten path of grass. Not telling what we might find down it, but it'll fill some stomachs. Alright, let's make a wager for who brings back the biggest kill. My logic here is that I want to stick with what was going on with Rook before, where with Rook, I would try to participate actively, because it helped with morale usually. Everyone in the group starts smiling and tossing coins in a purse before heading down the trail. When it branches, 2 hunters sprint left and 3 think the center trail looks promising. Search the ground for clues. The other hunters took paths with cloven hoof tracks. There is a chance you could kill the largest hog among them. To the right are rabbit tracks and possibly something bigger, but it's hard to tell. And so naturally I went right, on my own. You choose to hunt alone and move down the path quietly. And those sound effects kind of give away what happened. Sure enough, a couple of hares bolt for cover before you can sight them, but it's not you they're afraid of. The scent hits you as a bear crashes through the brush nearby. You instinctively aim and fire, scoring a shot no one will ever believe. You shot 537 pounds of meat. However, you were only able to carry 100 pounds back to the caravan. And I couldn't help but think at the time, like, why couldn't I grab somebody else to go grab more meat? It's not going to spoil immediately, right? One hunter was wounded, but it will heal. The two others brought back a large boar, but you were clearly the victor. 5 renown, there we go. Anything that makes me look like a badass or a good leader or whatever always increases a renown, which helps me level up characters or buy supplies somehow. You give everyone back their coin, and drinks are shared while the injured man's leg is mended. Later, the entire caravan enjoys the stories of the hunt while feasting. Bam! Bonus supplies, bonus everything. I'm gonna go ahead and camp before I go inside. After all, this is probably a good idea. Oh, morale has declined. Alright, this should be a good time for us to visit training here. Alright, so first off, we have a huge chunk of clansmen. I would like to train like 50 of them into fighters, because we need the protection. So we'll send 50 over. I felt like we were slightly off balance with the sheer number of clansmen there. But we still want a decent chunk of them to forage. And now for the training, which I believe is our last one. What can you show me? Plenty. Try to keep up. It all comes down to this, your chance to impress me. This is the last session, and it'll take all you've got. You think about what he's saying. I'm ready. Then we begin. This mission's not easy. There's some that are hilariously easy, like, go click on the thing, you did it! Or some of the trading missions. This one's a little more complicated. Alright, so use the Warhorn to recover willpower. That's easy. Defeat anything, click on the Warhorn, you win. Defeat all enemies, that's also easy, I do that all the time. Do 10 or more strength damage with a single hit. They gave me 2 Varl, so very easy. Beat someone's armor down and hit him with that. The tough part is use Tale Worth Telling for a +5 damage bonus. That's not easy. Mainly because of gaps in strength around here, basically. So the best options here are basically to take somebody like Trigvi and put him next to this guy and just let Trigvi take a hit. Because in order to get +10 damage bonus, you need to use Tale Worth Telling on somebody, which means Aleo has to be alive, because if he goes down, the buff goes away. Learned that the hard way. And then his buff gives you +2 strength, it gives you +1 strength damage with your attack for every 2 strength your opponent has over you. The highest strength opponent on the entire field is this Warhawk over here with 18, which means that he has to be attacked by somebody who has less. They have to have 10 less strength, so it has to be someone like Avon, actually, would be a decent option. And someone like that has to just land the hit. That's probably the way to go, is to use Avon, actually. I don't think I used him last time. So step 1 is to try to trap him with some Varl so he doesn't run around and mess everything up for me. Thankfully he's on his own this time around. Everyone's locations are randomized, and last time there was a bunch of characters over here, and now they're all wandering off on their own. So I can actually give this guy my full efforts this time around, which is not bad. Just gotta be careful, because he's a Warhawk, so he could do a lot of damage to us if he gets the chance. But hopefully we'll get the skill out of the way really quickly, and then we'll succeed. Let's see. We'll move our archers up. They can create some fun traps while these characters approach, hopefully. But hopefully in a way that doesn't endanger. I'll put Alette over here because I don't want Overwatch to hit our target here that we're trying to play with. So these characters will be distracting while we deal with this buff situation. Hopefully. Yeah. So Ivor goes first. We're gonna work on armor first. There we go. We can't attack his strength. Oh no. Well, I left an opening. Yeah, that was a mistake. Alright. Learned that one the hard way. Put the Mender a little further back so he can't get meleeed in one shot by the tough character. Now he'll... Oh! Not quite the same approach vector that time. And now Hakon's not going to be doing a lot of damage this time around. Unfortunately, you don't get to choose the turn order at all, so you just get stuck with whatever happens. And I really can't do much with this character besides try to carefully avoid walking into melee range, basically. Let's see. Right now I could reach the dude. My concern is how far can he reach? He could reach right up to me if he wants to, which is bad. It's a little scary because he's a little uncontrollable. When's his next turn? He's not currently on the field, but there's a Leo. Yeah, it's not a great situation. You want to try to control him if you can, but without hurting his strength damage, his strength at all, which really messes with things. My hope is that on Hakon's turn I'll move down here, I think, and on Ivor's turn I'll move over here, leaving a small gap for our caster to come in, but not leaving a way for the enemy to attack me. Right now, though, no one's taken armor damage, so I can't mend anyone, unfortunately. And I think Ivor's going to stay put for now. Let people approach, because if he runs forward, he's just going to get meleeed by everyone, and that ends poorly for me. Here's tale worth telling. So as long as we keep this guy at 18 strength, we can do a bunch of damage. One of the concerns here, I'm going to have to move away a little bit because I don't want the Warhawk to get too close to Alette. One of the concerns here, obviously, is just that, this extensive, silly game I'm playing to try to not let this guy hurt anyone could easily lead to him doing enough damage to my party to get us in trouble. So Ivor goes right before him, so Ivor's going to be able to get in the way just fine. So I'm going to go ahead and create this little barrier here. Just beat down that armor, because that's the only thing we're allowed to attack right now. So Ivor's going to move over here, Hakon's here, that'll create a little funnel for us. For now, these characters are going to be coming after us, so one of my best things to do is to try to use Rain of Arrows. That'll do a decent chunk of damage as they approach. Alright. Here's the block, but all I can do is stand here. Yeah, Battering Ram and Tempest are not things I want to do right now, unfortunately. We're just trying to control this character for a bit. Here we go. So I'm going to do 12 damage now, which is a lot for this character. And there we go. Plus 5 damage bonus is done. Plus 10 damage overall is done. The guy's pretty weak now. Now all I have to do is use the Warhorn at some point in this fight and also not lose, which is usually not too hard. But we'll see. So I can impale, knock back, and bleed 1 strength per move on the next turn. That's always... I just want to use it because I never use it, honestly. Yay! They see me bleeding. Is he stuck? Don't glitch out on me, game. I completed the objective. I don't want to lose now. Unfortunately, Hakon took the full force of us slowly making our way through that encounter, so he is in the worst situation overall. Let's see. Might as well beat this guy's armor down, if I can, because he won't be going for a while since his turn just ended. There we go. So no one walked in, no one really got hit by Alette much, huh? But I can't do a ton of damage this way. I could thread the needle. That's always fun. Howdy, folks. And the reduced armor means... Oh. I was gonna say the reduced armor means he'll take bonus damage from that Rain of Arrow, but he didn't walk into it. I really thought he was gonna walk forward towards the archers. But Hakon was too tantalizing of a target, apparently. Okay. Semi-obnoxious. I'm gonna try to use myself as bait here. Come and get it. At this rate, probably no one's gonna fall for it. It's easier to bait people when you're in one big group. But splitting up kind of made sense for some of the stuff going on here. Alright. Other guy weakened him down. I get the finishing blow. Now we can get the willpower if we want to. Also, everyone's getting willpower, which semi-nullifies elements of that. Ooh! So polite of you guys to line up like that. Yeah. Thank you. I'm gonna wander over here behind our friend. And we're gonna use Arc Lightning. That'll weaken a decent chunk of armor, so that of strength, so that they can't pierce at least some characters' armor a little bit. Could have gone for the humans too, but the Varl are just too tantalizing of a target. I mean, we gotta go for this guy before it causes us any problems. There he goes. He's down to 1. Oh, forgot about the bleed. I guess he goes down regardless. Let's see. I don't do a lot of good right here. Could do a lot of damage to this guy because of his super low strength. And if I move a little bit, they can't reach me with their melee attacks anyway. So maybe I'll work on just... Oh! Right, he's so low I can't actually avoid killing him. It's actually a terrible idea to kill him. Let's see. Let's throw a buff on Avon in case it comes in handy. For some of these high strength characters, but it probably won't matter too much. I'm kind of just spending my turn to some extent. Let's see, this should get me right close in range. Everyone should be able to walk right into my range now when I'm in Overwatch. So that I'll probably get a number of free hits along the way. Especially if they make the mistake of not attacking me. Which is exactly what's happening. So, twice in a row now, no one walked into my trap. I'm apparently very bad at placing. I even tried to specifically put Trigby and Oddleaf behind it to try to get them to walk up, and didn't work out that way. But now he's relatively worthless. Oh, there goes him. Yeah, that was my bad. I kind of wasted the Bard's turn altogether. It was a misplay. This guy should go down pretty quickly. Ooh, I could Tempest those characters, which is tempting. Or Sundering Impact. Oh, he doesn't have Sundering Impact. That's Mogre. Battering Ram. I should just go for a hit. Get out of this. Let's see, yeah, 9 will take him down to virtually nothing. And that should bounce a bit. And this rebalancing of everyone's health bars pretty much guarantees a win for me at some point. Oh no, you did 1 armor damage to the archer. What will I do? Weird priority there. Alright. Can't really do much as a normal melee character. It's maybe a good time for Impale, which I have to do up close. I keep misclicking here. There we go. Get back here. There we go. 3 damage plus at least 2 bleed as he tries to reapproach everybody. Taking him down to 3 strength overall. Best damage opportunity that character's gonna get. Can't do a ton with this character. But I can get this character down to 1. There we go. And Overwatch. Pretty much everyone is at the whim of Overwatch coming in here. I'm gonna back away just so that I'm trying to space myself just right. If they can move 1 square to get to me, that usually I believe that means that they don't trigger Overwatch. So I need to back away 2 squares at least. There we go. Hoping that'll trigger for multiple attacks here. Ah, the only remaining target is yep, the only remaining target is the archer. As far as people I can try to leave a trap for meaningful damage. So that's not happening. And his armor's garbage. I mean my chance of hitting through his strength is garbage. Yeah. His armor enough, he might be able to survive the Overwatch, so I should just throw... if I throw it over there, it'll be a little bit more of an obstacle. I'm gonna throw a rain of arrows down. Hopefully between Overwatch and Rain of Arrows he'll go down on his approach. Rude. Guess what happens now? Exactly. You really should have moved. There we go. That went exactly according to plan. Alright. Yeah, I was a little worried his high armor might be enough to keep him alive, but nope. Oh no, I forgot the willpower! Oh well. You guys saw me do the completionist thing. We're gonna skip ahead where I'm gonna replay the entire mission and then click the horn. Oh, I'm an idiot. That was dumb. I'm dumb. So, I did actually use the willpower horn this time. Also, I just wanted to pop in for this part because this is gonna be satisfying. Oh, I'm gonna hit my teammate. Oh well. Still gonna be satisfying. Lightning everywhere! Clunk, clunk, clunk. Oh! Whoa! I didn't even fully realize it was gonna chain all the way to the archers, too. That was a ridiculously huge effect, and it was very dangerous to my own team. But it's okay, because the fight's over. But that was amusing to me. There we go. Yeah, it all came down to just me using the willpower, and I forgot to click on the horn. It's the easiest part of the entire challenge, but I inherently am all like, oh, it's a pool of will that I can use at any time. I better pool that stuff. It's funny, in Banner Saga 1, that made total sense. In Banner Saga 1, you're like, oh, there's that willpower sitting around, and you can give it to anybody just to give them that little oomph they need. But now everyone has a pool of like 6 to 12 willpower when they start a fight, and then suddenly it's like, I almost never actually need the horn. Whoops. But we did it. And now I believe I've completed all the training in the game for this team. Yep. Can't do any more training for Alette's campaign, and I can't do any more training for Bulwark's campaign because it's broken, and it's impossible to proceed, unfortunately. And that means we're going into the woods with 29 renown, so I might as well level characters up again. Given the opportunity. Odd leaf. Although the only thing I can give you is more willpower, which is a little disappointing. Although in her case, some procs could be useful. Oh, let's increase Avon's power, actually. Because at level 6, he should get a new skill. Troll Stones. The mender pulls up stone shards out of the ground to block the path of enemies. The shards block movement, and the force of their rise deals 1 strength damage to all adjacent tiles. Their stones have 10 strength and last for 1 round before sinking back into the earth. So, it's powerful in that it creates barriers. It's weak in that it does very minor damage, and the barriers only last 1 turn. It says they have 10 strength, but honestly I feel like it would be unreasonable to even try to beat them down in 1 turn as opposed to just letting them disappear. Unless there's a huge turn disorder where the enemies have way fewer people than me, and 1 turn of Avon is a long time. But yeah, it's very momentary fix if you want to block a specific path, basically. Which is valid. So, given the options here, I could go for exertion and armor break, because those are not horrible things to have, but honestly the biggest priority for me is just to have him able to live longer, so getting him from 7 to 9 strength is good. It's a good thing I waited till now to do that, though, or that would have made the last challenge harder. Right, Hakon's stats are maxed out except for the 1 willpower I could get, so he's not a huge priority. Eric's not a bad person to level up a little bit. Get him a new ability. Right, he's rank 5, so that just means he gets the rank 3 version of the willpower skill, which means 6 willpower. It's a lot to give somebody, so that's not bad. Given these options, I would go for... Yeah, he already has high willpower, so exertion and armor break could be really good for him. Then he could beat down an opponent's armor, and the bear could finish them off, hopefully. Trying to get through here in a reasonable fashion. One of the tough things is that there's so many damn characters in this party that I like to use. It's hard to use them all the time. This is more or less the party I like, because of how varied it is. You have a big Varl for damage. First of all, let's put some of these characters near the front. There we go. I like to have Alette, Oddleaf, and Eric near the front, because they all have prep skills, basically. Alette going into Overwatch at the beginning of the game helps maximize how many shots you get sometimes. Oddleaf means getting that trap down. Eric means getting that bear summoned as fast as possible. After that, it's good to get Hack on first because you get a big Varl out there. Scott Hack can just kind of run around the way he feels, and Avon's good to have last because he has the ability to heal armor. So him going later in the fight enables more damage to actually happen first, so that he has someone to heal at all. Or at least that's my logical breakdown at the moment. And so it's time to depart. Back into the wilderness, into the grim, dark fantasy world of beautiful Dr. Seuss paintings? Whispers from the clansmen grow in volume with every step towards the colorfully daunting old wood. Nothing but game trails into this place, Ivor says. For this many people, I don't like it. He looks agitated, nervous. Glancing around, you notice the other Varl and even the Horseborn acting similarly. Tight places like this don't sit well with us, he says, watching you. No room to stand or swing, just another place I don't belong. Ivor's growing concern with feeling useless is somewhat puzzling, but you keep it to yourself. For all its majesty and storied past filled with legendary hunts, the dense foliage and spore-filled air of the old wood feels eerie. So yeah, this is a bad place to be. Game trails, for those that don't know, are just those linear, like, single-file type paths that happen in the woods, oftentimes caused by game, which is what often, I believe, is what people call just wildlife that you hunt, you know, for sport. So it's just footpaths, basically, but we're an army of hundreds of people. It'd be really nice to have a road, for obvious reasons. Both for ease of travel and also being able to travel in a larger group than just single file, where it's very easy to ambush you in a weak pattern. Peculiarities are no stranger to the old wood, but the discovery of a blue-tinged campfire in the distance creates quite a stir among the clansmen. The Varl ignore it completely, but fighters and families alike want a closer look. Yrsa, have you ever seen anything like this? The archer's eyes are wide, and they dart around to various branches in the trees. Maybe, she says. Best to move along. Call everyone back. No telling who or what's out there, you say. Let's stay together and keep moving. By the looks on their faces, you clearly dashed a few dreams, but the clansmen all return. Aww. They're not happy. They're not happy, but you know what? It's a weird fire, and we're worried about being ambushed already because we're walking on game trails. Let's not just go running off into the distance and see what happens. A group of 24 humans, thin and dirty, step off the rough path and let the caravan pass. Please, a young girl says. Anything to eat? Her mother, eyes averted, pulls the girl by the arm to silence her. Why are all of you out here? Homes were burned, the man says, coughing. Cowards didn't even show a banner. Now we're just trying to get somewhere safe to start over. You can join us if you'd like. Worried glances are exchanged among the group until a man says, Better than us starving out here on our own. They all tend to agree and thank you, joining the rear of the caravan. 24 clansmen! Yay! That didn't happen last time. That definitely reinforces the idea that these are actually random events that happen along the road. Because I've seen the campfire in my lost footage, but I didn't encounter the random people there. So there's that. Yep, I guess that is a bit of a counterpoint to my criticisms before, because I was talking about how the first game didn't have RNG, but that was more true in the aspect of combat and skills, but the walking around has always been randomized by a fair extent. A sudden rumble underfoot is strong enough to make you grab the side of a cart for balance. After it ends, you notice a young girl crying when her brother puts an arm around her. That's just the way it is around here, he says. Nothing to cry about. Oddleaf looks concerned. I'm not sure if that's the right attitude or not, she says. It keeps them from being worried all the time, but it keeps them from being cautious too. What's the point in caution? Ivor says. Look around. If it is that massive serpent causing these quakes, it could be an arrow's range away, and we'd never know for all of these trees. His words do little to quash the acrid dread in your gut. This place is beautiful, by the way. It's like Dr. Seuss crossed with The Witness or something. And all you have to do is be worried about all the constant threat of death. The faint smell of smoke goes unnoticed by many, except you and a few others, including the Horseborn. It's coming from the south, Ivor says. Ettenbecker. if the map is right. It'll take us some time to get there. Roek and Dedru are unleashing strings of angry sounds and pointing at hoof prints leading south through the woods. Clansmen watch them with concern. What are the Horseborn doing? Roek turns his back to you. Dedru struggles to understand your words, finally saying, "Destroy." Your look of confusion brings Scott over. This herd, he points to the hoof prints, enemy. Roek hates Trigacante. You cannot understand the last word, and he says, the last word he said or sounds afterwards, mean leader who want things, all things ruined, burned. Almost kill Roek, then meeting you. Let's see if we can help. While she doesn't understand your words, your movement towards the village prompts Dedru to move forward quickly. Only Roek is able to slow her and keep her near the caravan. Your arrival through the smoke is unexpected by the hoofed pillagers. Some unite to hold you off, while others, smeared in blue war paint, flee into the surrounding woods. So here we find out that the weird word that I am completely incapable of pronouncing, basically, is a rival, is in fact a rival leader, and apparently attacked this group, and that's why they're so ready to fight them all the time. We're somewhat limited here, because as you can tell, they put all three of the Horseborn directly into my party immediately. They're not super high-level characters, but I'm gonna have to deal with them for now. See, having Eric in the party to summon would be nice. Having Alette for leadership reasons is good, but I think I want Hakon. Someone who can just really deal a punch would be good for this party. And they're Horseborn, so they're gonna be high mobility characters. So Alette's good to have around because of her Overwatch. Oddleaf would also be good. So summon for an extra unit, a tough character, Alette. That should work out. Thankfully I can still rearrange where they are in the party, even though they're kind of forced in here. Put Dedru in the back because she's the ranged character. Scott Hotch has the trample ability. Eric can summon. Alette can do Overwatch, which is a great skill to have when fighting Horseborn because they just run around like lunatics all the time. Everyone has an item except for Dedru. Can I give her anything? 2 will, 2 strength. That seems totally reasonable. Throw that onto her. Everyone's got their little ring icons now. I think everyone in the entire party is equipped with something, except Ludin and Irsa, who I might never use. It's just, I already have another spearman, and there's so many damn archers. It's hard to find a use for all these characters unless they split up into 4 separate campaigns where we have half the party sizes. Howdy, folks. And there's Trigacante, or however you pronounce it. So he's got every Horseborn ability as far as I can tell, and some others. He's also the other one that's double-sized. So he's got Varl size. Interesting. The enemy formation's randomized. So last time I fought them, the enemy formation was like a solid line, and this guy was actually stuck behind them, which was pretty funny because he couldn't reach us. He was stuck in the back. He was stuck in the back and was like slowly creeping around. All right, so they average around 10 strength, so they're pretty weak on average. There's 2 11s, there's 3 9s, so they actually average below 10, which is good for me. But the big threat is the 14-20, their leader. But some good hits will take that out. So that's the type of thing where it's good to get some extra hits in with somebody like Alette, for example. I want to bunch my characters up a bit. Let's see, where's Dedru? There's Dedru. Put them back because that's not she's not a melee character. I will put Eric in the corner, Alette in the corner near the opponents, but Eric's in the front corner because he's going to summon a bear, which will be distracting to some of these enemies. Have the Varl ready to move forward, but I don't want to get the Varl in the way of the mobility of these Horseborn, hopefully. And Dedru will hang out in the back with her ranged abilities, and that'll probably get the job done. Alright, so Alette should be good right here. We'll just keep triggering Overwatch. They'll be on their way in. Oh, he's going first. Immediately, huh? Interesting. I'm going to move up here with Eric and summon the bear directly in front towards the enemy. Hi. I'm here to block things. My awkwardly shaped body that no one else has. Even the horseborn aren't 1 by 2, which is a bit of a surprise. That the bear is the only one that works that way. Alright, let's take a chunk out of that armor. While creating mobility problems. Huh. They are walking into my... They're walking into my Overwatch range less than I was expecting. Ooh. Can still do some real damage here, though. Let's approach on this side, just try not to get directly in the way of my own horseborn. But I can one-shot this character. Bye. Oh. That's a good chunk of armor lost. And with no mender, we're going to have to commit to it. Alright, so you have charge. Trample, I mean. Bonus damage from how far you go. Target is concussed. So I could charge our opponent over here, for example. And then run away afterwards. There we go. He went off in a fascinating direction. And I can go hide behind the bear. The mobility is great. For whatever reason, the enemies always seem to be very interested in fighting the bear, too, which gives me a bit of an advantage. Alright, so this character has only Mule Kick, and since no one's in their melee range, that means we just can't attack anyone right now. The best I can do is approach Eric for now and let the fight progress a bit. There we go. There's an Overwatch. I'll have to try to position myself better. Probably behind the bear somewhere. That'll trigger a lot of Overwatch shots. Deirdre doesn't like your company. Deirdre make you pay. But it was nice of you to wander on over here. Save me the trouble. She gets to stand still. Ow. The one downside of turning all the health bars on is it's good for being able to see all everyone's numbers, but for some reason damage doesn't get the top layer. Damage is on a layer lower than health bars. So if they get dense enough, you can't see anyone's damage being dealt, which is a little disappointing. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sneak in right behind. Huh. Yeah, I'm just gonna inch forward a little bit and go into Overwatch, which should threaten most of these enemies. The big problem is that a lot of them are ranged, which won't trigger that. But a decent chunk of them are gonna take hits. And it's good because they're generally running in to do a strength attack, so if I'm hitting their strength with an attack like that, that kind of nullifies their ability to do proper damage in their attempt. My exertion is 3, my armor breaks 3. They're not very high strength characters. They're not very high armor characters though, so I might as well just bust through that strength instead, so they can't do damage on the next turn. Yep, that thing I talked about is happening now, where the boss gets stuck behind his own teammates all of a sudden. Let's see. Not enough willpower to maul. I'll fix that. There we go. The maul just randomly attacks strength and armor of the people in front of him, and because of that guy's large size, that includes him. Ow. Alright, Eric has now been kicked in the head by a horse. It's not a good start for him. I can do Tempest, which is an AoE on these. These two probably is a good spot for that. It goes clockwise. It should be very vulnerable to damage. There we go. Oh yeah. Their health bars are looking worse than mine. I find myself wishing that this game had the option to have, like, your teammates' health bars on the left side of the screen and the enemy's health bars on the right side of the screen instead of over everyone's heads. Maybe as, like, a third view, like you click on this, no health bar, then click on this to see these health bars, then click on it like a third time to show sidebars. Just because I'd like to have a good idea of how good all my teammates are doing versus all the enemies, but also have a good idea, not have the entire screen covered this way. And that might be an interesting compromise to have as another possible view, at least. Let's keep working on the strength of our opponent here. There we go, big tough guy's down. We get a nice bit of knockback because of the item that Scott Hawk's using right now. And since he pretty much always does enough damage to trigger it, it just means he constantly makes that happen. Let's see. Oh yeah, Mule Kick on these two guys that are lined up, that'll be fun. I don't even care if it's the smart action right now, it just seems like it'd be a fun time. Clunk! Why didn't you take any strength damage? Oh, does he only take bonus damage for all the people he passes through? As opposed to units that it passes... Never mind. It's fine. The fun thing is to kick everyone around like a lunatic. No! Alright, it's still just armor damage. Not the scariest thing in the world. If they keep getting stuck attacking my armor, then they're not really going to weaken my Overwatch at all. You have too much strength. Let's get rid of that. It's really no joke how much morale affects combat in this game, because just having a nice big pool of willpower for your entire party just enables you to do turn after turn of high exertion attacks that completely change the scale of everything. So 4, 6, 2, 1, 2, 1. It really is just this guy. Yeah, this guy is a 6, and he's like the toughest. These 2 6s are the toughest people on his party. The 9 6s. So yeah, no one's threatening on their entire team right now. The better to Overwatch you with, I guess. The important thing with Overwatch is just to avoid putting her in direct range, where people can walk 1 tile to get to her. Because if they only have to walk 1 tile to get to her, then the Overwatch doesn't trigger. But if they have to walk any more than that, then they're pretty much doomed. Alright, this bear's gonna finish things. Yum. That was some bear-on-bear combat, basically, with how big that horse was. It ends immediately when the boss is down. I guess they presumably just fled the fight? There's not a lot of description, really. But I assume that they just fled like the ones that were happening in the description before the fight, once their leader's gone. With the marauding horseborn defeated, the Varl and clansmen quickly doused the fires around the village. We can never repay you, the village leader states, but we will spread word of what you did here today across the woods and hills. Thank you. 8 renown. The governor looks at you from a distance and nods once. So he's happy with us. I do wonder if he could have died on that bridge or not, because there was the point where I could have dropped his part of the bridge, and I kind of wonder if that was a real choice or a false choice, because you never know for sure sometimes. Got more renown. There's a market here. I might be able to buy a cool trinket. 2 armor per turn. That'd be a duplicate item, because I already have that one. A level 9 item that says +2 to break talents, 30% chance of double damage. Ooh, and +1 ranged. Ooh, that is a scary item, and I can afford it. So here's the thing. I assume that type of proc happens in like something like Overwatch. What if 1 in 3 Overwatch attacks does double damage, and I get plus range distance? Like, that's scary. Armor on rest. That's it. That's if not. That's even if that not that. Like, that'd be a good item for Oddleaf too. +2 to will talent. I want this item. I want it. It looks like too fun of a toy. I'm doing good on supplies, so I'm not really worried about that. So not much hero stuff to do right now. Morale's dropped down to only being good, so I'll go ahead and give us 1 day. Yay! Look at those happy faces.